right, so for our third dish already, using an entire ribeye, it's going to be our first dish. Remember, because our first two dishes were made from the cap. This one is going to be from the eye. It is just as tender, but less fatty. It's the inside part of a ribeye. So we're going to be using this for steak frites. Classic dish, obviously. And you can cut this as thin or thick as you want. I'm going about 1.5 inches on here, using my slicer knife. So got a nice piece there. And we're just going to simply season that with salt. There's going to be more than enough pepper in the sauce. We're going to be making a really quick, easy pan sauce. Easy pan sauce meaning we're going to sear the steak. Like I said, just salt, seared in some beef tallow, seared on each side until it's medium rare throughout. We're going to remove it, let it rest while it's resting. That's how quickly we can make this pan sauce. So it's going to be shallot, garlic, some local bourbon, a little bit of cream, tons of black pepper, some thyme, soy sauce, a little bit of fish sauce, which I know seems kind of weird, but trust me, it's perfect for it. So let's get it started. All right, so for the frites part of this dish, just using some russet potatoes here. You can use whatever potato you want. I mean, they all fry up really nice, but I think russets or any of the larger potato works really well. Also, I know you've seen me do it before, a couple other dishes, but when you make French fries or frites, triple cook them, meaning we're going to cut them, we're going to put them in water, starting in cold water, we're going to bring it up to a light simmer until they're cooked through. We're going to drain them, and then we're going to fry them in beef tallow, and we're going to fry them at a low temperature at around 300, 310 degrees max until they change color slightly, and then we're going to remove them, turn up the heat to about 375 on that beef tallow, and fry them at a higher heat, which gets them super crispy on the outside, but keeps that creamy kind of mashed potato feeling on the inside. Let's get started. I like to just cut off the ends, just so it's kind of easier to handle. You don't have to peel them completely, but it also gives you a more uniform cut on the potatoes themselves, which means that they'll cook more evenly. You could also save these skins. You could make roasted potato skins. You could smoke them, infuse them into broths or other dishes. Really good. Not what we're doing here today, but totally optional. I like my French fries a little bit thicker, so what we like to call like a baton cut. So you'll get them into cuts like that. Then you're going to go back and cut them into French fries. Just like that. Again, start them in cold water, heavily salted water, so you can season your potatoes. Bring them to a light simmer, and then I'll show you from there. All right, so our potatoes, French fries, they've been cooking for about 15 minutes on a super low simmer, just salted water that we started in cold water, brought up to a simmer, kept it there for about 15 minutes. So we're gonna drain it now, and then I have our rendered beef tallow that I've kind of been scraping off as our tallow has been rendering. Into this smaller pot, we're gonna do our first fry at around 300, 310 degrees, and then we're gonna go cool the potatoes off after the first fry, turn the heat up to about 375, fry it again to get super crispy on the outside. So let's get it started. I'll show you what we're looking for. When they break easy like that, but not mush, is when you know you're done. So, got our potatoes here. What you want to do, not trying to lose any. You want to dry them off a little bit. You don't want any of that excess water going in the oil. It'll mess up the oil, it'll get super cloudy. Not really going for that. So, drain the potatoes, make sure they're dried off, make sure your oil is ready to go, and then we'll get frying on the first one. Okay. All right, starting our first fry. This is around 300 degrees. you have a bigger pot, you got more rendered beef tallow. Again, you could use duck fat, any oil that can go up to a high temp. Avocado oil, canola oil, now it's not great, but it does work. You just want to kind of avoid the olive oils. It's doable, but not perfect for it. So the only thing that we're going to do to this steak to kind of enhance the flavor is one of my favorite ways to enhance any kind of beef, whether you're doing short ribs, any kind of steak, is black garlic. It's fermented garlic. You can buy it at the store. You can make it yourself, but it's a long process. So I always buy it. And all I'm going to do is going to break probably like 2 cloves apart, rub it on each side, and we're good to go. All right, change of plans. This black garlic is pretty dried out. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to mince it up, and then we're going to add it to our au poivre sauce. So it's going to become a black garlic au poivre. All right, so since we're using a stainless steel pan from Caraway here, I just like to make sure that it's hot enough. So the best way to do that, easiest way to do that, is just a little bit of water. And if the water starts dancing, we know we're ready. And that looks like it's dancing. Let's start it up. So, just gonna drain that. I have our rendered beef tallow here. Just gonna scoop some off. Look at that. Ribeye. So this is just the eye, it does not have the cap on it. Remember, we removed that. I've already made 2 dishes from it. And we're just gonna get a good sear on each side. Keep flipping it about every 35, 45 seconds, and then we'll make our pan sauce right when it's done. All right, so now that our steak is seared off on both sides, it's resting, good to go. While it rests, we got our oil coming back up to temperature for our second fry, our third cook actually on the potatoes. So they're gonna be super crispy, but we're waiting a little bit on that. In here, I drained off all the excess beef tallow. I just put it right back into our pot of rendered beef tallow. But there's a little bit left in here, just enough to cook what we got here. So what we have is freshly minced garlic, thyme, shallots, and black garlic. So we're gonna turn this into a black garlic au poivre sauce. Never done it before, but sounds great. Let's try it out. You're really only looking to cook, and you wanna salt it right away. You don't want too much color. Salt will start bringing out some of the liquid, the water that's in there. Prevent it from burning. We're looking for a really, really quick cook here, maybe like a minute, just over low heat. Kind of cook out these aromatics, get their flavors coming out. And then we also want to toast. I have some mixed peppercorns. So we got white, green, and black peppercorns in here. We're gonna do quite a bit. So you just want to toast them in the pan while it's still on low heat. You do not want to burn this, just get a little toast on it. And quite a bit. I mean, it's au poivre sauce, so it is a peppercorn sauce. All right. So let that toast for, I don't know, 10 more seconds. We're gonna deglaze this with Frey Ranch straight bourbon whiskey. It is our local distillery here in Reno. They're out in Fallon, it's about an hour from here. Awesome distillery, if you're ever in the area, definitely go check them out. So I think we're ready here. Let's deglaze this. This might set on fire. Watch out. Nope. It's about a half cup there. And what you want to do, scrape all that fond, all that flavor off the bottom. This is really what's going to build your sauce. Oh my God, the smell is incredible. That bourbon whiskey mixed with some beef fat and all those aromatics. All right, then you just want to reduce that Turn the heat up a little bit. While that's reducing, we're gonna begin frying. Let me get some gloves on so I don't burn myself. It's up to temp, so I'm just gonna drop a few in at a time. There we go. Just looking for, sorry about that. Looking for golden brown and delicious, little GBD on these guys. I mean, frying in beef tallow, one, it smells amazing. It is way healthier for you than any seed oil. It can withstand the high heat, but this is why McDonald's used to be so good. You know, McDonald's doesn't use beef tallow anymore, but a while ago, they used to use beef tallow to fry all their French fries, and that's why they were so amazing. I mean, when I was a kid, I believe they were still doing it, and it was my favorite French fry. So, McDonald's, you should probably go back to that, but different time to talk about that. All right, let's see how we're doing here. He's got a couple more minutes. Turn this heat back up. All right, now we are going in with some beef bone broth, just a touch. Just kind of want to add that to the pan as your bourbon whiskey gets reduced almost to sec or dry. So just add a little bit of body to the sauce. Let's check our fries. Oh, we're almost there. All right, so anytime I'm making out poivre sauce or a peppercorn cream sauce, I always add these two ingredients. So soy sauce, definitely the first one, just a dash. Just adds that extra umami. And I know this sounds weird, but fish sauce, normally found in Vietnamese or Thai cooking, but it works really, really well for beef dishes. I've even used it before to age beef really quickly. Anyway, just a dash of this as well. You can really use any fish sauce you want. I love this brand, Sun, but you could also find some bourbon barrel-aged fish sauces that work really well. If you watched my last video that I made with Au Poivre, you would know. Anyway, this is cooking down. It's almost there. We're just gonna finish it with a touch of Dijon. Just kind of stir that in to emulsify it. Go. I'm just going to keep this on low, let that keep going. We're going to drain our fries here. Oh, they're almost there. Okay. So the only thing that I'm going to do a little bit differently, normally I would add cream, but I have some creme fraiche, and I think it's going to work out even better than just regular cream. It's a little bit sour. I think it'll go really well with the steak. It'll kind of balance out that soy sauce and the black garlic, super umami flavors. So let's get that going. Oh, ready? All right. So, I mean, look at that color. Triple cooked. The first cook, starting it in cold water, bringing it up to a simmer. Fry again, low temperature at 300, and then last fry at 375. Till they're golden brown and delicious. And then all we're looking for here is just to season them with salt. And then we're ready to plate up. Got my salt right here. Super crispy. All right, so with creme fraiche, it's a little bit different than heavy cream. You don't want to cook it down, you just want to finish. With your creme fraiche, it tends to separate if you start to cook it down. So I'm just going to take about a tablespoon, maybe a little bit more. We're just going to emulsify this into the sauce, just like you would with butter almost at the end. But why not do it with creme fraiche? Also, another tip, anytime you add a dairy product, even if it's salted butter, it's not salted enough. So milk, cream, butter, creme fraiche, you always want to season it with salt. Learned that back in culinary school, and it is such an amazing tip because throwing in a dairy product to your sauce or anything like that could really take the salinity level down, and it won't be a complete sauce at that point. So season your dairy. We are going to plate our French fries. Those will go off right here. Beautiful little stack. We have our really well-rested ribeye, again, just using the eye. Just gonna slice that up. Look at that. Beautiful. Now, just going to top this off with our black garlic and creme fraiche au poivre sauce. Oh, yeah. And last but not least, we are just going to top this off with some really nicely sliced chives. Oh my God, I cannot wait to eat this. All right, steak frites with a au poivre sauce, but made with some creme fraiche, some black garlic, minced shallots, minced garlic, thyme, beef tallow, of course, that we rendered ourselves. So let's try this next one out. First of all, look at this. Thrice cooked. Oh. It's like how McDonald's used to taste. Not anymore though. Oh, that sauce is unbelievable. Gotta go for the end right here. Hold on. I mean, this has got to be like a top 5 dish of all time for me, right? Steak, French fries, everyone loves French fries, but this sauce is really unmatched. Then you throw the black garlic in there, that extra umami, soy sauce, a little bit of fish sauce, and then topping it all off with that creme fraiche at the end for a little bit of sourness. Unbelievable. You gotta try this one out. So that is 4 dishes so far. We're not done yet. We got a few more, so let's go on to the next one. For our 5th dish, using our whole ribeye, we're gonna be making Caesar salad. You know, normally chicken Caesar salad is what you see. The chopped chicken Caesar wraps are going viral. Tons of restaurants are blowing up. Steak, in my opinion, holds up so much better than chicken to Caesar dressing. There's so much flavor going on in Caesar dressing, which I'm gonna show you how to make. Why do it with chicken? It has no flavor. I mean, chicken thighs, chicken breast is good, but it gets overpowered by Caesar dressing, I think. So, in my opinion, steak Caesar outperforms chicken Caesar every single time. Let's try to make a chopped steak Caesar wrap. All right, first we gotta make our dressing, right? So what I have here is 3 cloves of garlic, anchovy paste, a lot easier than getting in there with the whole anchovy fillets. It already has the oil incorporated into it, so tons of flavor there. It's about 1.5 teaspoons of anchovy paste. Forgot a spoon. So put that into our blender. Then we're gonna go with Dijon mustard, about 1.5 teaspoons of that. There we go. We're gonna go Graza olive oil, my favorite. Healthy amount of olive oil. We're gonna go my new favorite hot sauce from Zab's. The cool thing about what they do is they use a really special pepper called the dill pepper. Makes an incredible hot sauce. If you have not tried Zab's hot sauce, please try it. You'll be blown away. just a couple dashes of hot sauce. You're not looking for making it spicy, just adding some extra flavor, a little bit of heat. We have freshly grated Parmigiano-Reggiano cheese. We're going to be using most of this, and then the rest of it is going to be folded into the actual Caesar salad itself. So you're going for about a half cup here. It really helps thicken your Caesar dressing. Adds a ton of flavor, of course. We have 2 egg yolks, again, from Happy Eggs, my favorite. The yolks, the color on these is just insane. The flavor is too, so add those right in. Then we're just gonna cut a lemon, use my juicer. Good amount of lemon, about 1 whole lemon. And totally your preference. If you like your Caesar dressing less lemony, then use a half. If you like it more, add more. Doesn't really matter. It's all going to taste delicious. Just got to grab some black pepper, freshly ground, good amount.
Are you staying here real quick?
Mm-hmm.
You can move the blender up on the timer.
Yep.
So right back.
All right, so I think we're good to go. So Caesar dressing, it's really forgiving. It's not like a normal vinaigrette. If it's not enough acid, add a little bit more. It's gonna get all emulsified in there with everything that's already in there. The Dijon, the egg yolk, the Parmesan cheese, those are all really, really good emulsifiers for a dressing, so you should be good to go. The only thing it may need is a touch more olive oil. All right, let's make some Caesar. A little loose, so like I said, the only thing it really needs, a little bit more olive oil. That's going to thicken everything up in there. See where we are. That's what you're going for, I think. So first thing we got to do, chop up some romaine, and we're going to chop this more in the bowl. Nice little rough chop there. We have our steak that we cooked in the pan. Then all we're going to do here, chop it up a little bit. A little medium dice, I would say. That. And instead of croutons, not that I'm opposed to croutons, but I really love the crispy Parmesan. Just adds a really nice texture. Really great umami, tons of flavor in there. And then our leftover grated Parmesan. Throw that. Then extra freshly cracked black pepper. A little bit of salt. Then our Caesar dressing, just a little bit. And then Doll Strong pizza cutter, not just for pizza. All right, got our filling ready to go. All we got to do now, we have our flour tortilla that I like to get from Tacombi. It is an incredible brand that makes really great flour tortillas, corn tortillas. If you haven't tried it out, I highly guarantee you should. So let's just toast this over the flame real quick, wrap it up, and we're good to go. Got our toasted tortilla. Add our filling. You got to pack this guy in. Fifth dish already out of a whole ribeye. There's so much ribeye still left. This is gonna be. All right. All right. So fifth dish, we have a chopped steak Caesar wrap. You see them all over the internet. Chicken Caesars though, and like I said, steak holds up so much better to Caesar dressing, in my opinion, than chicken does. So try it out with steak, and I cannot wait to dig into this one. Look at that. That was way too big of a bite, but well worth it because I stand by my opinion. Steak is so much better than chicken for a Caesar salad. Try this one out. Let's move on to our sixth dish.